Hi guys, my name is Olga Noel and Deming will join titles. So today we're going to talk about how to prepare your clay to make perfect clay beds for your plaster molds. It's an extremely short video, but a while back I was facing the same issue as a lot of you do. I was choosing between clay and plasticine, and I bought a lot of clay and I tried to make a clay bed and I ran into a lot of problems, and in the end I was not skilled enough or I didn't understand enough and I couldn't get how the stiff clay is going to become my solution for clay beds. But now, because I live in Serbia and this is actually impossible to find any plasticine in Serbian shops, I basically have to use clay, and I learned how to prepare it so that it's malleable and actually helps you with your plaster molds. But preparing it requires some time. First things first, I buy clay. In my case, it's actually basic kids clay, and this black dot is some molding probably, but it doesn't matter. Even if the clay is molded, you can still use it. You can also just cut this place away if it bothers you. And as you can see, the clay out of the box or out of the packaging is pretty stiff, and you have to saturate it with water. For me, the best and the fastest way to do it is cut it into thin slices. Please be careful handling the knife. I'm also wearing gloves here. It's an extra layer of protection, but if you know how to be more careful than I am, do so. I try not to rush it and try to cut it into even slices, but I sometimes can't, and some of clay chunks become a little chunkier than the others, but honestly it's okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Then after cutting the whole block into those thin slices, take a piece of cloth. I typically use white kitchen towels, not like paper, but an actual material, cloth-like. I saturate them with water. In here you see that they've already been in use, but you can take a new one. They are typically white. And I put those thin slices one after the other, like I'm playing Tetris here, trying to cram as many of those slices into one piece of cloth. I then spray them with water and roll them into one tight roll. One piece of cloth wasn't enough for me, so I'm adding one extra. And here it's even better because I can actually fold a little bit of this cloth on top of the clay pieces, and then I make another roll. And I store them in a sealed Ziploc bag for about 10 to 15 hours. This is quite enough for it to be more moist than directly out of the packaging, and it also instantly becomes quite ready to make a clay bed. Sometimes you need thin slices to add to it, so these are the best way to do that. After I'm done with clay beds, I also typically cut it into thin slices and store it like this all the time in a cloth with a lot of moisture, and if it becomes a little too malleable, you can just take it out, let it breathe for a little while, and it hardens a little bit, and you can use it for clay beds. It is saturated with water, but it's waterproof, as you saw in my previous videos about plaster molds, and it also helps to keep water and plaster plus water mix away from your surfaces and keeps it inside of the mold box. Now that I know that I can prepare clay this way, I'm 100% sure that I'm going to be using it till the day I stop making dolls, probably. It's much easier than making plasticine bed for your doll parts, and it's much more convenient, for me personally at least. I really hope that helps, and next time you start with mold making, you do use clay for it. If you liked the video, click a like button, subscribe to the channel, consider supporting me on my Patreon, like these beautiful people do. And thank you ever so much for staying for this shortest video on my channel. It is short, but it's really useful. Well, at least in my opinion. Thank you guys for watching. Bye!